Ian back with IG Fresh Kitchen. We're out of the garden and into the kitchen. Right now, there's about a half a foot of snow on the ground. It's minus 30 outside. I don't want to go out there. Guarantee you don't want to either. So know what cold weather means? That's right, comfort food. What we're gonna make today for comfort food is chili. Chili is one of those hold fast recipes that I feel like most people can make, and it's easy, convenient, and you have most ingredients in your pantry and fridge right now. If you're like me though, I've made a lot of chili in my lifetime, and sometimes just a pot of chili isn't just appealing, right? I want to take my chili game to the next level. So today I'm going to show you a nice little hack that I use to make my chili more than just a pot of chili and something a little bit more. I actually call it a Tex Mex Ranchers Pie. Now we'll get into what makes it a Rancher's Pie, but it's kind of like a shepherd's pie, but with chili and one other ingredient. If you want to ditch the mundane and get on the southbound train to Flavortown Express, hop on board. All right, so what we're gonna need for this chili today, basic. We're gonna need 2 tablespoons olive oil, 1 medium onion diced, just roughly. It's going in the chili, it's not a big deal. 3 jalapeños, roughly chopped. Now with jalapeños, you can either go more heat or less heat. I'm going more heat, so I'm going about 3 jalapeños. If you go up and more, go 4, 5, less, go 1 or 2. Your own judgment.
1.5 pounds of ground beef.
I'm gonna go 1 cup broth, 1 can diced tomatoes, 1 can tomato sauce, and 2 tablespoons tomato paste. Now for the spice blend. We're gonna mix in a bowl right now. There's 2 tablespoons chili powder, 2 tablespoons cumin powder, 1 tablespoon salt, 1 tablespoon garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of ground pepper, and 1 tablespoon sugar.
Tablespoons of cocoa powder.
All right, so let's start assembling it. I'm gonna take a cast iron pan over medium heat, let it come up to the temperature. And then I'm gonna add in those 2 tablespoons of olive oil, that 1 medium diced onion, and those 3 jalapeños. I'm gonna let them saute and cook and get a little soft for about 5 minutes. Make sure to stir so nothing burns the bottom. So after about 5 minutes, once it looks good, the onions are translucent, add in that pound of ground beef. With that ground beef, we're gonna let it break it up with a spoon and let it get nice and brown and caramelized. That caramelized ground beef is gonna add more flavor and depth to your chili. Next up, once that beef is cooked and you got a nice caramelized crust on it, we're gonna go ahead and add in our spice blend. We're adding the spice blend in now, so that heat of the pan and the meat brings out that flavor and that oils and the spice blend. You get more fragrant chili out of it as well. Let that cook for about a minute, and add the rest of the ingredients in. So we're gonna add in that 1 cup of broth, 1 can of diced tomatoes, and 1 can of tomato paste, along with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. So we're gonna take all those liquids and we're gonna let them simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. Remember to stir it every about 5 or so minutes to make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom and burning. But then this is where it gets a little twist and weird, right? So if you just want to learn how to make chili, you learn a new way, great, you can go now, like it's done. But if you want to learn a better ingredient you want to add to this, let's take it from just chili to Tex Mex Ranchers Pie. And what do we do there? I don't know if you guessed it already, we're going cornbread. I feel like it's a match made in heaven with this. Chili, cornbread, stack one on top of the other, bake it, delicious. First off, we're gonna start by preheating our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And now for the cornbread. We're gonna start by, in a large bowl, mixing together the dry ingredients. 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of cornmeal, 2/3 a cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Go ahead, mix it all together, whisk it, make sure it gets nice and smooth and evenly incorporated, and create a well in the middle of those dry ingredients. Because next, the wet ingredients are going in. We're gonna add in 1/3 cup of butter, 1 egg, and 1 cup of whole milk. Take it, mix it, make sure that whole batter is nice and smooth, no lumps. And then by that time, that chili should be ready to go. So with that chili nicely reduced, still a little bit of liquid to it, go ahead and pour that cornbread batter over top of your chili. Make sure make it a nice layer on top and make it nice and even, because you want that cornbread to cook evenly in the oven. You don't want one spot that's really kind of dark and overdone, another part still raw. Put it in the 400-degree Fahrenheit oven for 20-25 minutes. And after this, when it comes out, I'm gonna get to my favorite part. Now the cornbread is out, it's sitting on the counter. This is the hardest part. The chili part was easy, the cornbread part was easy. We learned a few more tricks to go with it. Otherwise, this is the hard part. Let it wait. Let it wait 5 to 10 minutes on the countertop. Trust me, it's worth it. And plus, no one wants to dig into like hot chili. And it's just like too hot, you're gonna burn your mouth, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna scoop out a nice large portion of that Tex Mex Ranchers Pie. Look at that cornbread, nice and steamy, the chili underneath, just looks amazing. I'm gonna garnish a nice slice of avocado on the side. But now for my favorite part of this, the honey bourbon butter. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a third a cup of butter with 1 tablespoon of honey and 1 ounce of bourbon. Take it, mix it together, and take a nice dollop of that butter, put on top of that cornbread, let it melt in. There you have it, a Tex Mex Ranchers Pie. If you like this recipe, go ahead, like and subscribe to get more content like this. And it's winter, you're gonna get a whole bunch of comfort food. That's the name of the game. Christmas coming up, you better believe there's gonna be Christmas stuff coming up right away. If you like this one, then go ahead and check out some more of my other videos, like the tomato soup recipe. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. You wouldn't know I fucking practiced all this time and like did one slur and it's just like a challenge.